Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I go by the name Bluish, and 1 year ago I watched PewDiePie's art video and I have been drawing since. So I'd like to share you my journey, my accomplishment, my struggles, and along the way maybe motivate someone new to draw and continue to motivate someone who is struggling. So before I show you my first week of drawing, let me give you a little background about myself. Before PewDiePie's video, I've never drawn a single thing in my life, not even when I was an infant. I barely used a crayon. It was more likely I was eating the crayon, but I was a huge weeb. I've always loved anime and Japanese music is my passion. If you go to the front page of my channel, you'll be able to see. So I was always surrounded by some sort of art and I always respected it. I always wanted to create something, but for some reason, I never really tried it until this PewDiePie video surfaced. Maybe it's because I was scared to try or I didn't know where to start. I bought a pencil, I bought a cheap sketchbook, and I got to start straight away. Welcome to what I like to call the honeymoon period. The first few weeks were the most pleasant time I ever had. No matter what I drew or how bad I did it, I laughed it off and had a very good time. While watching PewDiePie's video, he recommended an artist called Frieren Drawing. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Here I started day 1 following Frieren's video. So this is what I drew for the very first day. For the next 30 days, I won't be able to show you a video like this. I'll only be able to show you the pictures of what I drew, because I currently don't have my first sketchbook with me. And for day 2, this is what I drew. I continued to copy Frieren's drawing and it looks disgusting, but hey, you know, this is day 2 after all. Day 3, I tried drawing some anatomy. I also drew a very cute anime girl next to it. Since I was not good enough, I'm pretty sure all of these drawings were copied from a YouTube video. One YouTuber I really like to watch and copy from was this channel named SSArt1, and as you can see here from day 4, I tried copying one of his video and I say for day 4 it was quite a success. But I also drew one more thing on day 4. Yeah, it's disgusting. Past me spent about 4 hours on this and the majority of the time went into drawing those hands, which I gave up on eventually. Day 5, I wasn't satisfied with the Makima drawing from day 4, so I tried drawing it again, while also trying to draw the McDonald's mom. Day 6 was nothing special. I tried copying SSArt1 again, it came out okay. And day 7, an entire week has passed since I started drawing. I was learning really fast, just copying pictures from Pinterest and YouTube video. Back then, I just finished watching Frieren, so I was determined to draw a very nice picture of Frieren. So remember this picture of Frieren from day 7. For day 8 and day 9, I really started to get the hang of using the pencil. I was able to draw Arishka Girl and Saber. I was so proud of this Irish drawing that I was able to do. I remember back then it took me 6 hours to make this Irish drawing. I thought it was perfect. But after a year, looking back, it's kinda bad. The head shape is a weird oval shape, the jawline is non-existent, and the ear is just not earring. However, back then, it was my magnum opus. The streak continues. On day 10, I was kinda busy. I don't remember what I was doing, but I drew some anatomy and I decided to call it a day. On day 11, I decided to draw more Frieren. I actually copied it from a manga I bought and I was quite pleased with the result. On day 12, I tried copying this and it came out like this.
Brother, what's that?
And day 13 is a little bit tragic. I tried drawing Makima again and eventually gave up because I could not get the bangs right. And for day 14, I copied more of Frieren's drawing, and to be honest, Frieren's drawings are really hard. Even though it looks really simple, it's really hard to replicate. Day 15, I started adding hands to the mix, and yeah, let's not talk about it. Day 16, I tried drawing this. Wanna guess how it turned out?
That shit was trash.
Anyways, day 17, I just doodled on some paper. Day 18, I drew my queen, Okita Soji. Back then, I really liked this drawing because I'm such a huge Fate fan. Yeah, I know, it's a terminal disease. But I would stare at these pictures for hours because I was so proud of it. Day 19 was rough, but that's because I was experimenting with some pencil. I bought like a bunch of like different values in pencil lead. I bought a 2B pencil, I bought a 4B pencil. I was experimenting with it, so that is why the picture looks super dark and it looks kind of rough. And for day 20, I did some really quick sketches because during these days, I think I was quite busy with some things. I can't remember what I was doing, but I was quite busy. And day 21, I tried copying this reference. Wanna guess how it turned out?
Hey, that's pretty good.
For day 22, I did a 10-minute sketch because I was kinda lazy, to be honest. I don't even have an excuse. I'm pretty sure I was just lazy. Before I show you day 23, there's a struggle I want to talk about. I was extremely lazy throughout this entire challenge. I have very huge goal, but I really didn't put in enough work to really justify having that big of a goal. Some days I feel like I didn't really even try to draw. Most days I spent like 5 to 10 minutes and I would call it like a successful day. For some days like day 21, quantity wasn't there, but I did spend like over 2 to 3 hours on like a single drawing, and in my future work also you'll be able to see that some I worked extremely hard on and some I just didn't work as hard. To be honest, I don't really know why I didn't put effort into this, even though I have so much joy and passion for it. I'm pretty sure during that time I just really wanted to play games, like I really wanted to watch anime, so like I would just do this and move on. I would only do it for like an hour, a set period of time, which, you know, some people say is healthy, but I feel like I should have done so much more. I feel like I shouldn't have been that much lazy, because you'll see in the future work that I've done, when I was lazy, you could see it really affect my work, and when I had my full focus on drawing, you could really see the difference between them. So day 23 happens to be one of those days I really decide to put in the effort. It's a drawing of Okita Soji again. I know it's not the best drawing. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't even consider it good, because you can see a lot of mistakes going on. You can see that the hand is a little effed up. The eyes near the nose is not the best. The ear is not really supposed to be there, and it's not the best drawing. But during that time, for day 22, I really liked this drawing and I thought it was quite good. And compared to day 22, I put in way more effort. For day 24, you could see the same. I really enjoyed the drawing on the right. I decided to draw more on a single page because you can see before that I only drew like a single picture on each page. So on this page, I decided to cramp in more Okita drawings. And for day 25, I went and invested in some markers that I really wanted to try drawing. Day 26 is example of one of those days I didn't try as hard as I could have. Even though day 26 was really rough, day 27 was different. It clicked for me. Day 27 is a period where I like to call exponential growth. I don't know what happened on day 27, but something just clicked and I was able to draw this picture. And it was so good. Because remember, on day 26, I was drawing something like this, and the next day, I was able to draw something like this. So I don't know what happened, but something just clicked. I was so proud of myself. Day 28 was when I properly unlocked colors, making my first ever marker drawing. And to be honest, I think other than this one, the other ones were kind of a success for my first time ever using alcohol markers. Remember when I told you to remember this drawing of Frieren? This is me drawing it 22 days later on day 29. I really like this drawing. It's such an improvement from my old Frieren drawing. On day 30, I decided to draw Yubel because when I said I was into Frieren, I was not lying. I was really into that show. Day 31, I drew a picture I found on Pinterest and I really like this picture. It's really cute. Even though I called this period the exponential growth period, I'm still lazy, and one of the struggles I'm still trying to combat to this day, because you can see the results of my laziness on day 32 and day 33. Even on day 34 and 35, you can tell that it was really rough. Day 36, I tried drawing some flowers. This is day 37, this is day 38, this is day 39, and this is day 40. Day 41, I drew more flower with some of the markers I bought. And day 42, I drew possibly one of the best Frieren I drew so far. I was able to draw this. Looking back at it now, it doesn't really look like Frieren as much. I feel like it's a different style because I feel like I was copying something that a artist has stylized. I don't know who I copied this from, but it was a really good drawing and I think I butchered it a little, but this was still one of the best drawings I made so far because all of the lines were super clean. Like you can see this strand of hair that I somehow managed to do without like chicken scratching it, and it was really amazing. And even the hands I was able to draw properly. It's not the best because you can see the index fingers and some of the fingers are still a little bit cooked, but this was one of the best drawings I've ever done. Usually after drawing something I'm really satisfied with, my performance usually takes a little bit of a dip because I get a little bit lazy. However, that's not the case for day 42. This is not a perfect drawing, but I managed to draw a picture of Nazuna, and I really like this drawing. I even use it as a profile picture for a while. You know, the ego's kind of crazy. And for day 44, I followed a reference from Pinterest again. I don't really know who this is, but I quite enjoy this drawing, especially how I shaded the hair. I feel like I did a pretty decent job. And the hand going up towards her head is also really cool. And on day 45, I drew a picture of our favorite Sakura. I remember drawing this in a cafe. And this is where the exponential growth and enter a different period where I like to call it the stagnant period. The reason why I'm calling this the stagnant period is because I was no longer improving drastically. And you know, that's fine because not every day will be an improvement. Some day it's just a straight line in terms of progress, but that's not the only reason why I'm calling it the stagnant period. It's also because around this time I got accepted into university, so all of my focus was going into preparing for university and moving closer to the university. That is why I wasn't able to put my full focus into drawing, and I think in the next couple of work you'll really be able to see that I struggled because I had so much on my plate. So let's move on to day 51. I have tried to incorporate markers with moderate success. Here's my drawing for day 52, here's my drawing for day 53, and here's my drawing for day 54. I'm not quite sure what happened. Maybe I just got a little bit lazy, or maybe I was just extremely busy during this week, but I don't really know what went wrong, to be honest. I know because I definitely can draw better. Because on day 55, this is what I drew. I know that I can draw better, but I don't know why. I can't draw consistently. The quality always takes a little bit of a dip after drawing something that I appreciate, like in day 55, and I go to day 56 and the quality has dropped again. And this is one thing I don't really know what to do about. I think the reason why my drawing takes such a dip in quality is probably because some days I was extremely distracted, like I would literally be playing League at the same time I was drawing. That is definitely why the quality of my drawing isn't like a straight line, or it doesn't look the same as like the previous one. This looks like I just learned how to draw like yesterday or something. So if you're going to draw, set a time and try not to get distracted, because if you are distracted, this is how your drawing is gonna look like. On day 57, I really wanted to make something that looked like the green hair character PewDiePie drew. And for the next couple of days, I really tried to recreate it in my own style with almost no success. Day 57, I didn't know what happened. I think I really wanted to separate the hair with the marker itself, but I didn't have the marker knowledge back then, so all of them look the same and the pen makes it look extremely ugly. I think it was a learning experience, to say. And for day 58, it wasn't really that bad. I think I got the color down to make it look like PewDiePie's drawing. I think I made the gray area really similar to his drawing. The greens were really similar. I think the only problem was that the anatomy of this face was really bad, and I think I gave up halfway through it because I thought it was kind of bad. And for day 59, I don't really know what happened. I think the chin got cooked and the color didn't blend really well. I think I tried to blend the light area, but I ended up just making everything the same color because it was easier to look at. So I had really no success trying to recreate PewDiePie's green hair cat girl. And let me tell you about another struggle that I have during this time. I was comparing myself to PewDiePie, and other people who was doing this challenge way too much. If for example, my day 60 didn't look as good as somebody else's day 60 or PewDiePie's day 60, I get really sad. I begin to doubt myself. I start to believe that I really had no talent, that I probably would never be as good as this person or that person, which of course is not true. In reality, I just didn't have enough time and I just wasn't trying hard enough to be as good as this person or better than this person. Like, the best thing to do if you're experiencing the same thing right now is probably just stay off the internet and just focus on your own pace. If not, your motivation will take a huge hit because you'll think about how somebody is making far more progress than you are, but which is not true. You don't know what situation they are in, and we don't know what situation you are in. However, back then, I didn't take this advice too hard, and I kept comparing myself to other people drawing. I even compared myself to somebody who was already a professional drawer, and I was thinking, why couldn't I draw as well as this? The more you think about stuff like that, the more your motivation starts to dip. And with how busy university was keeping me, I actually lost my count. I broke my drawing streak. It was around day 60 that I lost my drawing streak. I had to prepare for university and I went weeks without drawing. So eventually I lost count. Yes, this was supposed to be a 100-day drawing challenge, but I lost my streak on day 60. It wasn't even day 60, I lost it on day 57. And I got really sad. Even though my 100-day drawing challenge was a failure and I went a couple of weeks without drawing at all, it didn't felt right to not draw something. I think it's because I have been drawing for 50 days straight that whenever there wasn't a period of time I was drawing, it just felt extremely weird and I couldn't kill the itch of wanting to draw. Like, there was a habit already there, like a really old habit that you struggle to break. So even if it was trash, even if it was just 5 minutes between class, even if it was only just one circle, I began to start drawing again. Not every day like I used to anymore, but frequently. My first few drawings were really tough when I came back. I felt like I couldn't control the pencil anymore. However, it didn't take very long until I get used to it again. I was able to draw a really cute picture of Kurofubuki. I don't really know when I draw this picture of Fubuki. This was during the time when I had a little break from university. Honestly, this is probably one of the better drawings I made in a very long time. I feel like there's some things I could fix. For example, that the hair didn't blend very well. I think the values, the darkness are all over the place. And I think the eyelashes aren't as good as it could be. That's why here I have made a little note about eyelashes. And you know, the flowers don't look very well. The clothes could be a little bit cleaner. To be honest, I don't really know how I managed to pull this drawing off after like 2 to 3 weeks of not drawing and coming back and just being able to do this. It's pretty weird, but I tend to not question these things anymore. I'm gonna apologize in advance if the chronological order of this video starts to get a little bit warped, because that is how my drawing journey is. Because someday I would draw for like 3 or 4 days, and sometimes I would take a week break and I would come back to draw for like 3 days and take another 1 or 2 week break. So I don't really know when or what I draw anymore. So if this gets a little bit confusing, I apologize in advance, but I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. After this drawing, university started to get extremely tough on me again, and I went about like a week or 2 without drawing again. And when I finally returned, this was the result. It was difficult. When I had too many things going on at once and when times were difficult, it really reflected in my drawings. I can't really say I like any of these drawings. However, after becoming more stable and university slowed down a little, I was able to draw regularly again. Boxes, circle, and random sketches, but at least I showed up, and that is possibly the most important thing. That makes it sound like I have no passion for drawing and I'm only doing it because PewDiePie did it, but that's not right. I really love drawing and it's the thing that calms me down the most in difficult situations, but I really wish I got to it with a different mindset. However, to give myself credit, no matter how tough or no matter how many weeks break I took from drawing, I never really gave up on this hobby. And as time went on, I began to draw more boxes and circles day after day when I have no time. Since I didn't give up on this drawing and I still really wanted to make something that looks like PewDiePie's drawing, and I looked up something to draw and I found something on Pinterest that I really liked. So I started drawing and this was what I managed to create. After only being able to draw circles and mediocre drawings for weeks, when I finished this, I was so shocked. I didn't know I had it in me to draw something that looks remotely as good as this. I mean, to be fair, I don't think this looks as well as PewDiePie drawing. I feel like there should be some lighter color, but I stopped thinking about it like that. I started thinking, this is my drawing, and it doesn't have to look like PewDiePie's drawing, and it looks amazing, and I really like this drawing. After this drawing, I really began to start enjoying the hobby again, and I was able to create more and more drawings. I draw Arish, I draw Marcely, I draw Mina, I draw bunch more circles and boxes and squares, and to be honest, I was having so much fun. I tested my luck on digital art. It went great, and if you don't know who this is Arquade, and I think it turned out really well. I still have many things to learn about digital art, so maybe that could be the next video. Stay tuned. After this digital piece, I sat down for a bit and I thought I really wanted to create something big, something that took a lot of time to make. My university is starting to get a little bit easier and I'm starting to have more time to draw. I started preparing to draw something that is really big, something that is gonna take me a couple of weeks to finish. After planning for a bit, this is who I decided to draw. I decided to draw Firefly from Honkai Star Rail. This took me about like 2 months to make, not really because I was being careful or anything, probably because I was procrastinating. I was kinda shocked that I was able to draw something like this after such a dry streak, after just drawing random boxes and like every now and then drawing some illustration with alcohol marker in it. I was really proud that I was able to do this. I mean, looking back at it now, it's not like it's really perfect because especially the left eye here, it sticks out like a sore thumb, and I wish her bangs were a little bit more in depth in terms of color and shading. But this was like my first artwork, putting like a lot of time and thought into something, so I'm really pleasant with how it came out. But then again, this artwork became somewhat of a double-edged sword for me, because after drawing this, I was so scared to actually start drawing again, because I was thinking to myself like, will I be able to draw something like this again? Is this the best of my ability? Am I even gonna get better than this? And you know, is it downhill for here? But you know, obviously if you keep drawing, it's not. But after thinking about it over and over again, I couldn't get it out of my head. So I started to burn out a little. You're probably thinking like, Bluish, like, isn't this supposed to be somewhat motivating? You keep talking about issues and issues, but you barely provide a good solution. So what good is this video? Well, to be honest, I don't really have a solution, a proper solution to any of these issues that I'm dealing with. If you're dealing with the same issues as I am right now, I'm sorry to say, but I don't really have a better solution than to just continue to keep drawing. I really don't know any other way to deal with it other than drawing and continue to draw. So that's what I did, regardless of how burnt out I was, regardless of how much I doubt myself. I keep drawing. I drew BB, I drew Marceline, I drew Hatsune Miku. I continue to draw more circles, more squares, more triangle. I drew everything. As long as the pencil touches the paper, I would call it a success, and I wouldn't be too hard on myself. I guess the long-term solution would be to build a habit of drawing every day. And you know, that's easier said than done, but I think if you are able to do that, all of the issues you are facing will eventually go away. Because if you don't draw, you know, it doesn't get better and begin to doubt yourself more. I think the right solution is just to continue moving forward. I don't really have a better way to solve the issues I'm currently experiencing right now. If you've been drawing longer than I have and you have any insightful wisdom you want to share, please go ahead. I would love to hear it. But yeah, if you want my solution, then I think you just continue every day. So if you're not able to do it, don't beat yourself up over it. Even me, who is quote-unquote been drawing for over a year, don't really have a good habit because I just draw whenever and however I want. So that is why it's gonna take a little effort, and if you're not able to successfully nail it the first time, just continue and just rebuild from the start. At least that would be, well, my biggest advice, I guess. I don't know if you want to take an advice for somebody who draws like this, but you know, if this helped you in any way, shape or form, then I'm already happy. However, this video isn't over yet. There's still some drawings that I would like to share with you. For example, me and my friend decided to do a friendly competition between each other. We decided to do a Suisei drawing contest. It's not really a contest, there was really no winner, but we each decided to draw our own Suisei in, well, our own style. And this is what I came up with for the Suisei drawing. I quite like this drawing a lot because I managed to separate the hair without like black pen, and I managed to separate them with blue color pencil, and I was really proud of that. And the little highlight I put in the hair, I quite like it. The problem I have with this artwork is the anatomy is kind of bad because, you know, her face, you can see the jawline isn't that good, the mouth is a little bit weird, and the hands in general, the hands were really bad. I couldn't get them to be the same size. I don't know how to do that, probably because I haven't practiced drawing hands that much yet, but I think overall it looked pretty well. I was really proud of how I colored the ribbons in the hair. I think the ribbons up here, I like the way it turned out a lot. And the hair color, I really enjoyed it. And I think I also colored the eyes really well. And this drawing took me about like 9 hours to make, so it was a pretty big time commitment. Before I show you what I did on my 1-year anniversary for my art journey, let me just show you how much I've grown. This is me 300 days ago, and this is me right now. I doubt you need any more proof on if you don't give up, you'll definitely improve your art skills, but here is another one to the pile. Just this is how much I've improved. So if you think about quitting, do not do it. On my 1st year anniversary, I really wanted to draw something that looks like my favorite artist, Picasso. So that's what I did. I picked up one of his artwork and I decided to draw it, and this is what I came up with. I just tried copying it. I didn't try adding my own style to it. To be honest, it was such a pain in the ass to draw this traditionally because some of his methods are really complicated to do. So this is the reference I use, and you know, putting it next to the reference, my one looks like absolute dog shit. But still, I'm really proud of this drawing because I think the way I colored this piece of hair is so cool. I really liked it, and I want to color this way again. I really liked it. I don't know how I did it, but it looks amazing. I think after a year, I'm finally able to make something I'm somewhat satisfied with. And yep, this is the conclusion of my 1-year art journey. To be honest, it was really fun. Even though I was super tough on myself, I think it was such a fun time. I feel like I should have gone through it with a different mindset, definitely, and I think I should have put a little bit more work into this hobby. But to be honest, looking back at it, I had such a fun time. The reason I'm making this video is not because I want to motivate people. I mean, that is, you know, part of it, but I want to create another video where I properly learn perspective, I properly learn color theory, I probably learn anatomy, and I want to see how much more I can improve, how much better I can get at this. Since now I'm beginning to have much more time on my hand, I want to put this into good use and see how much better I can be at this. The reason I'm making this a YouTube video, so for me I can look back and see how much I've improved, and I also want to share this journey with people who are interested. So if you're interested in this sort of video, please subscribe, and I promise you I'll deliver the next video as soon as I can. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.